What's most important is when we're dividing the money, it should be based on need.
A local congresswoman looking to bring more federal funding to the Hudson Valley. And Governor Cuomo explains how contact tracing could be a key factor in reopening our state. News 12 starts now. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for watching News 12. I'm Scott McGee.
And I'm Gianna Gelosi. We're getting answers from Albany to Washington. News 12 speaking with Congresswoman Lowy on the next stimulus package, the governor on contact tracing, and the lieutenant governor on essential workers and unemployment. But we begin in New York State, where 306 new coronavirus deaths were reported in the last day. The number of people seeking treatment also down.
New COVID cases slightly down, 933, but still unacceptable, but down from where it was.
Governor Cuomo says the human cost of the pandemic is still high. More than 18,000 people have died. The governor spoke today about the need to take precautions before fully reopening New York.
Everybody wants to reopen. Caveat is reopen, but don't reopen in a way that increases the spread of the virus. To her left,
the governor plans to discuss reopening tomorrow in more detail. That includes whether to reopen schools. The governor also outlined the state's contact tracing plans. Cuomo says the purpose is to find those who might have been exposed to COVID-19 and isolate them as soon as possible to prevent the infection rate from increasing. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg will lead the first ever testing, tracing, and isolation program, a huge undertaking, the governor says, because of the scale.
The estimate so far is you need 30 contact tracers for every 100,000 people who are in the affected area. Statewide, that would be about 6,400 to 17,000 tracers.
The state plans to recruit tracers from state employees. Bloomberg announced an app in its development to help contact tracers find information and data quickly.
But the city that never sleeps, shutting down overnight subway service for now. The governor says trains will not run between 1 and 5 a.m. This should give the MTA time to disinfect every train once every 24 hours. The governor says alternative transportation like buses and vans will be provided at no charge to essential workers during this service disruption. Well, the USNS Comfort departed from Manhattan today, marking the end of its month-long mission here. The ship arrived on March 30th. Served 186 patients along the way as backup for hospitals in the area. Now it heads back to its home port of Naval Station Norfolk down in Virginia, where it will wait until it's needed for any future COVID-19 operations. Health officials say its departure is a sign we're winning this war against the virus. Now, during our coronavirus special tonight, I spoke with Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. She touted the system that New York has been using when it comes to unemployment.
Our system has worked more effectively for more people than anywhere else in the country, but we need to get it done. There's still a lot of people that are just waiting, trying to make those next rent payments or mortgage payments, and this is a very frightening time for people. We are not dismissing that at all.
The U.S. Department of Labor says first-time claims for unemployment benefits totaled $3.8 million in the week ending April 25th. I also asked her about town pools and summer camps as we start getting closer to those summer months.
I think what we need to talk about are our essential workers, children needing to go to summer camps as we continue to need them on the front lines as we work through this crisis during the summer months. So I think there's going to have to be more of a strategic approach to this, not just say everything is open, but to understand, is this a place, the only place that is where a child can be watched whose parents really need to be on the front lines in a hospital or working in a grocery store. So this is a whole new area for us, but that's an important consideration. And swimming pools, that's going to be a tough one. I think we're going to have to wait and see what the numbers look like as we get to the time when the pools are starting to reopen.
All right, so we're going to have to wait and see on that. Meanwhile, every night this week, we will be taking your coronavirus questions and getting them answered live by the experts. That show starts at 7 o'clock.
Local lawmakers continue their call for more federal funding. News 12's Nikita Ramos spoke to Congresswoman Nita Lowey about the push for another stimulus package.
Financial pressures among local Hudson Valley businesses are running deep. Take Cantina, Taco, and Tequila Bar, for example, in White Plains.
The good weeks were running at 20% of what we used to. On the bad weeks, we're 10 to 15%.
That's why Congresswoman Nita Lowey is leading the charge to bring federal funds back to New Yorkers in a fifth stimulus package with a price tag in the trillions.
We're trying to reach out to all of our colleagues all over the country. Trillions of dollars sounds a lot of money to me too, but we haven't had a crisis like this before.
So how will this money be divided among municipalities?
I think what's most important is when we're dividing the money, it should be based on need, numbers.
While the package is still in its drafting stage, priority spotlight is on keeping workers on a payroll by funding state and local governments, including the Payment Protection Plan, but small business owners aren't very hopeful.
The PPP program for restaurants, for mom and pop restaurants, was never a good idea. All these big corporations siphon the money first.
Congresswoman Lowey says this should not have happened.
I am following this very carefully with my colleague. What happened last time was really unconscionable. Don't give up, because he is an example of the kind of business that we should be helping.
Adding on to the financial strain is the rise of unemployment, with more than 220,000 New Yorkers applying just last week. That's why support for unemployment programs will also take precedent. And right now, preliminary negotiations are underway to decide when the stimulus package will be released. For News 12, I'm Nikita Ramos.
Some new allegations against a local nursing home. The nurses claim they don't have enough PPE to do their job. News 12 Samantha Crawford has that story.
The state's mandate that requires nursing homes to take in COVID patients is an emotional topic for a lot of people. News 12 has been inundated with phone calls and emails from people saying they're concerned about cross-contamination. Two employees of the Paramount at Somers who asked to remain anonymous reported serious allegations. They said, "We do not have enough staff to care for these patients. We have no hand soap. We are given one KN95 mask for 5 days. Our PPE gown we have for 5 days, worn with confirmed and unconfirmed COVID patients. And if someone is a presumed case, they're not being moved into a different room. They're staying in a room with a resident who has no symptoms." The nursing home administration denies these claims, saying in part, once a patient shows symptoms that are related to COVID-19 or have tested positive, they are immediately transferred and isolated, and the responsible party immediately notified. They tell News 12 the staff is also given ample supplies of PPE and accurate thermometers for them and patients. When asked if nursing homes can handle the recent influx of patients, the governor and state Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins similarly said this week.
A nursing home takes a COVID person if, capital I, capital F, if they can adequately care for that person.
If you cannot accommodate the patient, whatever it is they have, then they shouldn't be there.
The staff and administration at the Paramount at Somers disagree on their strength. For News 12, I'm Samantha Crawford.
Thank you, Samantha. Now, President Trump tonight announcing there will be an increase in nursing home inspections.
I guess you could call it a little bit of a weak spot because things are happening at the nursing homes, and we're not happy about that.
That presidential announcement coming that nursing homes will have to report their coronavirus patient data to the CDC and patients' families, and a new commission being created to see if any additional measures should be taken.
The commission will convene in May and issue recommendations for further steps we can take to protect our nation's seniors.
The president says FEMA will also send additional medical gear to thousands of nursing homes. Seniors are among the hardest hit by the coronavirus.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says the U.S. could have a vaccine as early as this January.
We want to go quickly, but we want to make sure it's safe and it's effective.
Health officials say they're working as hard as ever to deliver a vaccine, which normally takes about 12 to 18 months. The White House says it's launching Operation Warp Speed to make hundreds of millions of vaccine doses by 2021. Dr. Fauci says researchers are looking into a number of potential vaccines already, moving the timetable up from March of next year. Overseas, other nations like the United Kingdom and France are researching their own vaccines. One major concern of researchers is whether one vaccine is needed or will there be a need for annual updates like the flu vaccine. And of course, stay with News 12 for continuing coverage on the coronavirus. We'll bring you the latest on air, online, and on the News 12 mobile app.
All right, let's talk about that weather. And after a very wet and stormy day, Steve Keeling here to tell us what's coming up next. Steve.
All right, Scott, thank you so very much. Yeah, let's take a look. Look at this plume of moisture here giving us that rain out there. That is coming on up from the south, and you can see we've got a lot to get through over the course of tonight before it does taper off towards dawn. Take a look at our forecast. Heavy rain. I say windy. Still going to be windy, not as bad as it was today. And actually, as we head towards dawn, the winds will begin to subside. But nonetheless, some wind-swept rain out there tonight. 54 will be the low in West Nyack. Yorktown Heights about 53. Looks like we're going to see low to mid-50s from Goshen over to Stormville into Mahopac, where your low will be right around 54. All right, take a look at our Friday forecast. The heavy rain will be out of here. Now, we still call for scattered showers. A good portion of the day will be dry tomorrow under those cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. The front actually comes through mid-afternoon, so around mid-afternoon could see one last little area of rain showers and maybe even a downpour that comes on through. And then after that, we're going to be done with all this rain. So that sets the stage for a great weekend headed our way. Friday's highs, by the way, are going to be in the low to mid-60s. How great is the weekend? Well, Saturday, I have sunny skies near 70. Yeah, you got to like that. And Sunday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with a high of about 66 degrees. So there you go. I gave you the weekend forecast. And by the way, this is the first weekend in May. We better get out and enjoy it. All right, stay with us. More on the forecast, including your 7-day. See if we can get the mild weather to continue. That's ahead in just a couple of minutes.